Then now the author is going to go on to talk about the things that are mustahab for the person who's fasting. So he says, وَيُسْتَحَبُّ لِلصَّائِمِ كَفُّ لِسَانِهِ يعني كَفُّ لِسَانِهِ, meaning to preserve his tongue from fudul al-kalam, meaning useful speech or vain speech or speech that doesn't have any benefit, and also to protect it from, backbiting and spreading rumors and so on and so forth. So kafu lisanihi, from those things that are not beneficial or those things that are harmful while a person is fasting. وَتَعْجِيلُ قَضَاءِ مَا فِي ذِمَّتِهِ مِنَ الصَّوْمِ, and to hurry up to make up those days of fasting that are recommended. That a person has as a qada. So for example, a person misses 2 days or 3 days or 4 days of Ramadan, it is mustahab for them to make those make up fasts as soon as possible. It's not obligatory, but it is mustahab. وَتَتَابُعُهُ, and it is also mustahab to make them follow each other, in the sense that if a person has 2 make-up prayers, 2 make-up fasts from Ramadan, it is mustahab that they be done together. So example, you have 2 days to make up, fast on Tuesday, fast on Wednesday. It is permissible birds could fast on the Tuesday and then next week Wednesday, or next week Friday, or next week Saturday. What's obligatory is that they finish the number of makeups that they have, but it is mustahab that they be done day after day. So that's what he means by وَيُسْتَحَبْ وَتَتَابُعُهُ. Then he goes on to, now he's going to go on to mention the days in which the days are the days during specific times of the month when it is recommended for Muslims to fast, because of the many virtues that are mentioned in hadith regarding fasting on these days. So he says, وَيُسْتَحَبُّ صَوْمُ يَوْمِ عَرَفَةِ لِغَيْرِ الْحَاجِّ. It is mustahab for a person to fast the day of Arafah for the person who is not on Hajj. It's not recommended for the person who's on Hajj. This is specific to the person who's not on Hajj, because those who are making Hajj should not fast. They should eat, because they need the energy to move and make their way to Arafah. وَصَوْمُ عَشْرِ ذِي الْحِجَّةِ, and fasting the 10th day of ذي al-Hijjah, which is the month of Ramadan. وَالْمُحَرَّمِ, and fasting during the Muharram. You're fasting the first, fasting all of the Muharram, but the first 10 days are preferable. وَالرَّجَبِ, fasting during Rajab. And then he mentions with Sha'ban, and fasting during the month of Sha'ban. وَثَلَاثَةِ أَيَّامٍ مِنْ كُلِّ شَهْرٍ, and it is recommended to fast the 3 days every month. And then he says, وَكَرِهَ مَالِكٌ أَنْ يَكُونَ الْبِيضَ لِفَرَادِهِ مِنَ التَّحْدِيدِ, and it is disliked. Some of the people held that the 3 days that you should fast are the 3 white days. And what they mean by the 3 white days, the 3 days in which there's a full moon, which is the 13th and the 14th and the 15th of every month according to the Islamic calendar. But Imam Malik disliked that. That's what he says here. وَكَرِهَ مَالِكٌ أَن تَكُونَ الْبِيضَ لِفَرَارِهِ مِنَ التَّحْدِيدِ. Imam Malik disliked it because he didn't like he didn't like making tahdeed. We find this a lot of the time. Imam Malik, what does it mean by tahdeed? That he doesn't like to specify something that is not established in the Sunnah. So for example, another example of tahdeed. Tahdeed means to specify something to a specific date or to a specific thing. For example, in our school we find in hadith sometimes it mentions that the Prophet ﷺ did 2 rak'ahs for the sunnahs, and sometimes it mentions that he did 4. So Imam Malik doesn't make tahdeed saying that a person has to pray 2 are 2, or it says, or doesn't stipulate that a person has to pay 4. He said what's important is that a person just does his nafila before dhuhr, for example, and the nafila after and before the other prayers, but he doesn't stipulate that it should be 2 or it should be 4. So same thing here, he doesn't make a tahdeed saying that a person should do it on the 13th, the 14th, and 15th. All that is important is that a person fasts 3 days, 3 days a month. وكذا كره الصيام 6 من شوال مخافة أن يلحقها الجاهل برمضان. And Imam Malik also disliked the fasting of the 10 days, the 6 days of Shawwal after Ramadan. So many of the scholars of the madhab, students of Imam Malik, limited that to saying that it meant that that Imam Malik disliked it, makhafata an yulhiqaha al-jahilu bi Ramadan, out of fear that a person, that an ignorant person, that a person who wasn't well informed, may consider it part of Ramadan. Which means that if a person knows that it's not part of Ramadan and that it's the 6 days of Shawwal based on a hadith that talks about the virtues, then it is not disliked for that person to fast the 6 days of Shawwal. So the dislike was for the specific reason that a person might think that it's part of Ramadan.